Urgent Commanders fan, look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest Commanders news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Commanders urged to draft Hall of Famers, Son to Unlock offense. The Washington Commanders will enter the 2025 NFL Draft with 5 selections, a far cry from the 10 Dan Quinn and Cuphead had last season. That means there is a bigger urgency to hit on. The picks in the early rounds, with Jaden Daniels and his team positioning themselves to make another deep playoff run. With the Commanders' offense being one of the best in football last season, they added Deebo Samuel and then Laramie Tunsil in free agency to bolster Cliff Kingsbury's unit, but NFL. Com's Bucky Brooks wants them to add another weapon. Speaking on path to the draft, Brooks wants LSU tight end Mason Taylor, the son of Hall of Famer Jason, to come to the nation's capital. They've already done a really good job this offseason of adding firepower on the perimeter, but I want to get them another playmaker. That person is Mason Taylor, Brooks said on Path to the Draft. Yes, I want his former teammate to join him, Daniels, in the district so they can get this passing game up and going. Putting him with Zach Ertz, having a year together to serve as that apprentice. To me, it unlocks so much of the potential of this offense. The selection of Taylor, who is coming off his best college season, 546 yards, 55 receptions, is a good move for 2 reasons. Firstly, he provides another weapon for Daniels and takes some of the tight end responsibility off of Ertz. Secondly, as Brooks alluded to, he will serve as Ertz's replacement in 2026. Having a year to learn under Ertz before taking the league by storm with Daniels is a good plan of attack. Of course, going defensively heavy in the draft is also a good plan, as there are several holes on Joe Witt Jr.'s unit that need plugging. But in Taylor, the Commanders get a genuine weapon this year, who could emerge as a household name in year 2. Pausing this news, just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Commanders news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Commanders make shocking addition to coaching staff with 4-time NFL All-Pro. The Washington Commanders are sparing no expense when it comes to the 2025 season. It's what happens when you're a legitimate Super Bowl contender for the first time in decades. The latest addition comes on the coaching staff, where ESPN's Mike Rice reported on April 7th the Commanders have added 4-time NFL All-Pro wide receiver Wes Welker. Welker has spent the last 6 seasons as a wide receivers coach with the San Francisco 49ers from 2019 to 2021 and with the Miami Dolphins from 2022 to 2024. Wes Welker, who was in the news last week as a worthy nominee for the Patriots Hall of Fame, 672 catches over 6 regular seasons, another 69 in playoffs, is in the news again this week, Rice wrote on his official X account. Welker, the former Dolphins WR's coach, has landed on the Commanders staff, per sources. Welker has myriad ties to the Commanders, from the coaching staff to the front office to the players. Welker was teammates with offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury at Texas Tech in the early 2000s, then coached with the 49ers, while general manager Adam Peters was the vice president of player personnel. Source confirms Wes Welker will join Commanders. Staff serving as personnel analyst J.P. Finlay of Washington's NBC4 Sports wrote on his official X account, "He'll be working with both the personnel staff and coaching staff." Welker's time as the wide receivers coach with the 49ers also corresponded with the best season of Commanders wide receiver Deebo Samuel's career in 2021, when Samuel earned NFL All-Pro honors with career highs in receiving yards 1,405, rushing yards 365, and total touchdowns 14. Welker worked with some of NFL's elite wide receivers when Samuel earned All-Pro honors under Welker in 2021. It was the first time since Pro Football Hall of Famer Terrell Owens in 2002 that a 49ers wide receiver was named All-Pro and the first Pro Bowl wide receiver for the franchise since Owens in 2003. With the Dolphins, wide receiver Tyreek Hill was a 2-time NFL All-Pro selection in 2022 and 2023 with over 1,700 yards each season, including leading the NFL with 1,799 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns in 2023, when Dolphins wide receiver Jalen Waddle also passed the 1,000-yard mark. One of NFL's greatest slot wide receivers of all time, Welker, had a storied college and NFL career where he played 12 seasons for 5 different teams and led the NFL in receptions 3 times. At Texas Tech, Welker was a 2-time All-Big 12 selection in 2002 and 2003 and finished his career with 577 all-purpose yards and 31 touchdowns. He also set the NCAA record with 1,761 punt return yards, including 8 punt returns for touchdowns. Welker went undrafted in 2004 but made the San Diego Chargers roster out of training camp by head coach Marty Schottenheimer, released Welker after one game in order to claim backup safety Clinton Hart off waivers. Welker finished the season with the Dolphins, where he played 3 seasons. Welker eventually became best known for his time with the New England Patriots from 2007 to 2012, where he made 5 Pro Bowls in 6 seasons and had 5 seasons with at least 1,000 receiving yards. Welker ended his career with the NFL record for most receptions for an undrafted player, 903, and is number 20 on the NFL's career list with 16,796 all-purpose yards. 7 Commanders who are likely playing their final seasons in Washington time could be running out for these Commanders players. Adam Peters gave those who contributed so much to the Washington Commanders cause in 2024 a massive vote of confidence this offseason. Whether this continues long-term is another matter. The lack of legitimate game changers on the free agent market didn't entice Peters enough to make lofty commitments. Washington's general manager resigned the large majority of his free agents confident, in the knowledge that they know the scheme and are fully immersed in the team's culture shift under new head coach Dan Quinn. That's a big boost from a continuity standpoint. The Commanders achieved more than anyone expected last season en route to the NFC Championship game. They went from a laughingstock to one of the leading contenders in the blink of an eye. Having this newfound stability is only going to help their quest for similar or better fortunes next time around. This is a fluid situation. Peters will assess developments closely throughout the summer and when competitive action commences. He's also shown that if the money doesn't match the financial commitment, the Commanders will seek alternatives. With this in mind, here are 7 Commanders who are likely playing their final seasons with the team in 2025. Commanders likely playing their final seasons with the team in 2025. Percy Butler Commanders. As the Washington Commanders' most surprising move of the offseason, from a departure standpoint at the very least, was the decision not to resign standout safety Jeremy Chinn. His production warranted another commitment from the franchise. The former second-round pick wasn't willing to wait around, signing a 2-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders instead. Adam Peters found a replacement quickly, penning Will Harris to a 2-year deal that was much cheaper than Chinn's agreement with the Raiders. That'll help fill the void on the back end, but the depth options remain thin on the ground. Percy Butler has a big point to prove entering the 2025 campaign. The former 4th-round pick emerged as a decent special teams contributor last season. However, his production remained sketchy when tasked with responsibilities on the defensive rotation. Butler is a liability in coverage and didn't fare much better against the run. The Commanders gave him a reprieve heading into the final year of his deal, but the Louisiana graduate has a significant amount of hard work ahead in pursuit of another deal. Peters has had no trouble whatsoever moving off Ron Rivera's draft picks. If they aren't meeting the required standard, it'll take a huge effort from Butler to turn the tide. Austin Eckler Commanders RB, the Washington Commanders have stood pat at the running back position so far this offseason. Adam Peters could alter this strategy during the 2025 NFL Draft, but it seems the general manager is also relatively pleased with what the team already has right now. Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler formed a productive tandem to begin the campaign. Things regressed considerably over the second half of 2024 and into the playoffs. Injuries didn't help, but the pressure is on to be more consistent when competitive action commences once again. Robinson was the ground and pound presence capable of shouldering a hefty load. Eckler was tasked with pass-catching duties out of the backfield. He also emerged as an outstanding kick returner, earning second-team All-Pro honors in this discipline. Both Eckler and Robinson are heading into the final year of their respective deals. The former undrafted free agent out of Western Colorado dealt with a serious concussion last season and will be 30 years old by the time Week 1 rolls around. That makes him a probable candidate to be replaced next spring. The Commanders will examine a rich crop of running backs emerging from the college ranks this year. If Peters finds a long-term option, This will probably be Eckler's last season in Washington. Andrew Wiley Commanders, OL acquiring 5-time Pro Bowl left tackle Laramie. Tunsil via trade from the Houston Texans represented a major coup for the Commanders. Has a legitimate difference maker with the elite-level production Washington hasn't had on the blind side since Trent Williams. This is going to assist quarterback Jaden Daniels considerably entering year 2 of his professional career. Tunsil's arrival shakes up the offensive line dynamic. Dan Quinn revealed that Brandon Coleman will move to the right-hand side and will start at the tackle spot to see how he fares. This indicates a position switch for Andrew Wiley. Hole go to the interior if everything goes well. The Commanders need a stable presence at the right guard spot. Sam Cosmi could miss most, if not all, of the 2025 campaign after tearing his ACL against the Detroit Lions. Wiley's experience makes him a nice stopgap option until the Texas graduate is ready to return. Wiley is entering the final year of his deal. He took a pay cut to stick around in 2025, which turns up the heat to make the improvements needed in pursuit of an extended stay. The 2-time Super Bowl winner was solid, if not spectacular, last time around. Going to the interior should help, but Wiley will be surplus to requirements once Cosmi returns if Coleman makes the edge protection spot opposite Tunsil his own. Trent Scott Commanders. OL the Washington Commanders opted to give Trent Scott another go-round this offseason. Most thought the versatile offensive lineman would be permitted to take his chances elsewhere in free agency. Adam Peters gave him one more shot to earn his place as a core rotational piece. This was thanks in no small part to Cornelius Lucas' departure. The ultra-consistent swing tackle signed a decent contract with the Cleveland Browns, where he could assume starting responsibilities with a smooth transition. That's a blow to the Commanders, although trading for Laramie Tunsil softens it considerably. Scott was used sparingly last time around. He got thrown into the fire when Sam Cosmi tore his ACL in Washington's divisional round win over the Detroit Lions, performing well in difficult circumstances. Things didn't go nearly as well in the NFC Championship game, where the entire protection became overwhelmed by the vaunted Philadelphia Eagles defensive front. It's not costing the Commanders much to find out if Scott has any more improvement left at 31 years old. His one-year deal comes with a $19 million salary cap commitment, which is easy to get off if those in power don't like what they see. Keeping him on the roster for experience depth is possible, but this will probably be Scott's last season in Washington, all things considered. Zach Ertz Commanders. The Commanders got exactly what they were looking for from Zach Ertz last season. Many wondered if the veteran tight end had any good football left after the last 2 seasons didn't go according to plan. He silenced his doubters in the best possible way. Ertz quickly emerged as a locker room leader and exceptional mentor to the likes of Ben Sinnott, John Bates, and Colson Yankoff. The former second-round pick out of Stanford also became a dependable option in the passing game for quarterback Jaden Daniels on his surge to immediate superstardom. His receiving yards and receptions were the highest achieved since 2021. Ertz's 7 touchdowns throughout the campaign were his best figures since 2018. The 3-time Pro Bowler displayed the reliability to come through in the most crucial moments, which rightfully earned him another 1-year deal with the Commanders. This is nothing more than Ertz deserved. There's hope his influence can continue, although the Commanders would probably like to get Sinnott more involved after the second-round pick was used sparingly as a rookie. This could also be Ertz's swan song. He'll be 35 years old next season, and Father Time is undefeated. The Commanders have a potential heir apparent in Sinnott ready to go, so it'll be interesting to watch this dynamic unfold over the season. Brian Robinson Jr., Commanders' RB Brian Robinson Jr., is a curious case. There are some games where the running back looks like a legitimate game changer. There are others where he becomes a liability once early momentum isn't generated. The Washington Commanders are giving Robinson the benefit of the doubt despite his regression late in the campaign. Adam Peters could add another dynamic backfield threat during the 2025 NFL Draft despite having 5 picks currently. Even so, it would be surprising if the former Alabama standout wasn't part of the roster when Week 1 rolled around. Robinson has plenty of incentive to perform well in 2025, as entering the final year of his rookie deal. The Commanders need to see more from the player to justify another commitment. That's the harsh truth. Robinson has some outstanding qualities, but the punishment took its toll last season. Adopting a committee approach should keep him fresher. with Austin Eckler, Jeremy McNichols, and Chris Rodriguez Jr. all flashing when called upon last time around. The Commanders have enough flexibility in the draft to take another running back, perhaps earlier than most anticipate. Robinson would be firmly on the hot seat in this scenario, so nothing but improved consistency and renewed energy will do. Noah Brown Commanders, WR Noah Brown, did enough to get another contract from the Commanders this offseason. The wide receivers campaign ended abruptly, but those in power want to see if a full offseason with the squad could help bring more from the athletically gifted pass catcher. Brown gave the Commanders something different, despite arriving after final cuts. He got a couple of weeks to adjust before being introduced to the starting rotation. His ability to stretch the field and accumulate defensive pass interference penalties helped enormously. And nobody will ever forget his Hail Mary miracle catch to beat the Chicago Bears. That momentum didn't last much longer. Brown suffered a serious internal issue against the Tennessee Titans that resulted in kidney surgery. Although hugely disappointing, all signs point to the former 7th-round selection making a full recovery in time for organized team activities. The Commanders traded for Deebo Samuel Sr. this offseason. This provides another Pro Bowl caliber performer for Jaden Daniels and the best running mate Terry McLaurin's ever had in the wideout room. It should also provide more one-on-one opportunities for Brown if he can progress accordingly this offseason. It's a high-stakes situation for Brown. If the Commanders aren't suitably impressed, they'll address the receiver position next spring and let him walk. And now, Commanders fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Commanders. I'll be back any moment with more Commanders news. We want Dallas.